After winning the double championship in Cage Warriors and becoming the biggest MMA superstar in just a few years, he became the creator of his own destruction.
Partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
A series of unpleasant events in McGregor's life drastically reduced the number of his fans who became his haters. And this is the story of the chronological events that led to all that.
Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a fuck!
Everything was going well until 2016, when Conor won the UFC lightweight belt. He first drew the ire of fans when he refused to defend his featherweight title, but they quickly got over it when they heard about his mission to become a double champion. When Notorious succeeded, no one thought things would go downhill in his MMA career and life. He refused to defend his belts, which many thought was obligatory if you wanted to be remembered as a true champion.
If you don't hold that belt for a certain amount of time, you gotta let it go, son.
Instead of being more active as a champion and continuing to impress us, McGregor decided to be inactive for the whole of 2017 and do a crossover boxing match with Floyd Mayweather to prove himself as the best boxer in the world. But the boxing world differs from MMA, so Conor was denied his moment of glory and triumph. He was stopped by one of the best boxers in history, and it later turned out that winning this match was his second priority, and that paycheck was the main motivation for this endeavor. After a fat payday of $130 million, the feeling of power and a full wallet went over the Irishman's head and opened the way for mischiefs that would put him on the front pages of newspapers for years to come. His first misstep was on March 31st, 2017, when he was going over the speed limit in Dublin. When he finally appeared on November 18th, he apologized and pleaded guilty and was fined €400. If you thought he was reflecting on his actions, think again. He wasn't. He arrogantly left the court, got into his car without wearing a seatbelt, and left at the speed of light. He threw out a phrase that was a slap to the face of the justice system.
Come and get me! Come and get me!
11th October 2017. Conor was again caught red-handed and behind the wheel, rolling his Range Rover well over the speed limit in Ireland. He appeared before the court with another apology and received a fine of €1,000, and his driver's license was revoked for 6 months. However, this was not Conor's last driving offense, nor was it the last incident in 2017. But fortunately, this time, he did not endanger the lives of others. On 10th November, his SBG colleague Charlie Ward debuted at Bellator 187. Although he was coming off 2 losses, the Irish fighter knocked out John Redman in the first round and did not hide his happiness. But judging by the situation in the cage, Conor was much happier than his friend. McGregor didn't even bother to hide his excitement. He stormed the cage and jumped on Ward, making referee Mark Goddard's job difficult and selfishly taking the attention away from the winner. Goddard warned him, but Notorious went straight after him. Security intervened, and instead of Charlie walking proudly in front of the cameras, McGregor was in the main frame. His desire to be the main character wherever he goes did him no good, as the future will show. After 2017, we get to April 2018, the moment when Conor attacked the bus with a steel dolly. We won't dwell on the detailed events, as they are well known to everyone. We'll summarize them only with Dana's words.
There's a guy named Artem who is Conor's best friend. He's from Russia. Habib is from Russia too. There was some kind of Russian stuff going on between those two, and Habib slapped him. Surrounded him with his friends and slapped him. He picked up the phone and called Conor.
That's embarrassing,
Habib slapped me. Conor fueled up the G650 and loaded it up with Irish guys. They flew to New York and attacked the bus that he was on.
Conor was arrested a few days later, charged with assault and criminal mischief, and pleaded guilty. He was released on $50,000 bail and avoided jail time and possible deportation from the US. But he was forced to complete 5 days of community service and an anger management course, which is realistically a small penalty for the damage he did, and a small penalty for a rich man like himself.
Conor's got a lot of things he's got to get through over the next year.
On September 20, at the UFC 229 press conference, the issue between Habib and Conor continued, but still didn't reach its peak. McGregor arrived drunk to do media duties, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Notorious had 2 tasks, promoting Proper 12 whiskey and crossing the line in trash talk against Habib Nurmagomedov. But unlike all previous trash talk skirmishes fans have enjoyed, this one was not like that. This time, he really overdid it, making the press conferences with all previous opponents look like a joke.
You're a phony, a fake. A little rat, a little weasel. Shut your mouth, mate. You'll be dead and I'll be in a cell. Fuck you.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yes.
He knows
Oh,
this.
Lord, save me that.
He knows this. Sit, I'm gonna explain.
Fake rat.
The more he spoke, the more people switched to the side of Nurmagomedov, who decided to leave his talk for the cage. Even the fight night did not pass normally. Both fighters were fined for the post-fight brawl, and Conor was suspended by the NSAC for 6 months and fined $50,000. Before the year ended, Conor managed to get involved in another police investigation in December, this time for a sexual assault accusation in Ireland that allegedly happened in a hotel. These were no small accusations, and therefore a severe blow to his high profile. Unfortunately, this was not the only indictment of this nature, but this process dragged on until 2024. Conor did not calm down even after this, so he participated in another incident in March 2019, which resulted in another arrest. The report says McGregor was leaving the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach shortly after 5 a.m. Monday when a 22-year-old man attempted to take a picture of McGregor. Police say McGregor slapped the phone out of the man's hand and then stomped on it several times. Investigators say McGregor then grabbed the phone and left the area. It's not exactly a smart move to shove a camera in an MMA fighter's face and not expect a reaction, but Conor definitely has anger issues. He was charged with strong-armed robbery and criminal mischief. He was kept in custody and released on a $5,000 bond, and later, it was found out that the fan filed a civil lawsuit against him, but it was dropped in April. For most of the problems so far, some justification could be found on shaky legs, but what he did in August 2019 borders on madness. At the Marble Arch pub in Dublin, Conor offered a shot of whiskey to an elderly man, who refused his offer twice and was punched by a quick left in return. McGregor was inactive in UFC fights, but filled that time by fighting in pubs, but without knockout finishes. He used to be Ireland's main star, and by 2019, people were refusing to drink with him. McGregor, accused of assault, was brought to court, where he pleaded guilty again and was fined $1,000. A new sexual assault was reported in October 2019. The woman who reported him says that he abused her in a car in front of a pub in Dublin, which this time put a big question mark on his behavior towards women. With the lack of evidence, Conor denied his wrongdoings. He managed to be calm for a whole year, and then in September 2020, he was arrested on the French island of Corsica for alleged repeated sexual assault and indecent exposure. But 8 months later, the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. As time passed and problems continued, it was harder and harder to be Conor's fan. This was further compounded by his performance decline in 2021, when he was beaten twice by Dustin Poirier. In the first fight, he was knocked out for the first time in his career, and in the second fight, he suffered a nasty broken leg, after which he never returned to the cage. Another one of his missteps happened after the first fight with Dustin, when Conor publicly promised to pay $500,000 to Poirier's charity, but did not follow through. Instead, he donated to another charity in Lafayette called the Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana, instead of the Good Fight Foundation. McGregor filled the rest of 2021 with more assaults. In September, he attacked the famous rapper Machine Gun Kelly on the red carpet at the 2021 MTV Music Awards in Brooklyn. This was his second incident in Brooklyn after the bus attack.
What happened?
Absolutely nothing. I don't know. I just showed up and I don't know. I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you.
Well, he was right. He just shows up and problems come along with him. Likewise, a month later, he just showed up in a nightclub in Rome, where he broke the nose of Italian DJ Francesco Facchinetti. The Italian had no choice but to file charges and also warned the public about McGregor's instability.
We have to go to the hotel and he said, hey guys, stay here for another 10 minutes. And we say, okay. In that moment, your brain turned off immediately in 1 second. And he punched me in my face. It's like that. Imagine if you are in front of me and you speak with me for 2 hours and chilling and smiling, and I punch you after 2 hours, out of the blue.
That he is irreparable is evidenced by another arrest in Dublin for speeding in March 2022. This resulted in a 2-year road ban and a $5,000 fine. The judge ordered him to be peaceful for the next 2 years due to a 5-month suspended jail sentence to avoid jail time. Again. And what did Conor do? In January 2023, he went to Ibiza to celebrate his birthday, where he attacked a 42-year-old Dublin woman he previously invited to his birthday party. The victim says that his behavior suddenly changed, stating that he was acting like possessed and that he became verbally abusive before kicking and punching her. The lady jumped off the yacht to save herself as she feared for her life. Later, she filed a complaint against him. Believe it or not, Conor denied this incident too, and prosecutors ultimately declined to pursue charges against him. He used to fight in all corners of the world, and today, he collects criminal charges all over the world. 6 months later, Conor appeared again as a guest, and of course, at an event that had nothing to do with fighting. The NBA Finals were being held in Miami, Florida, and McGregor decided to use the opportunity to advertise his pain relief spray. We have already seen at the UFC 229 press conference how things go when he promotes his product. His partner in this was the Miami Heat's mascot, Bernie, and the only mistake was that Conor should have explained beforehand what the promo would look like. Consequently, poor Bernie ate 2 heavy lefts like none of Notorious's previous opponents had. The knockout was scripted, but the additional punch was unnecessary.
I spent a lot of time with him after, we hugged it out and everything was great. It was a skit, it was part of the show. It was part of the show.
Performer playing Bernie taken to a local emergency room.
He obviously missed punching people in the cage, which is evident from his relentless posts on social media. There is no fighter he hasn't called out from flyweight to heavyweight. There is no performance that he did not comment on after each event, but it's his way of staying relevant without any activity. But the truth is, this ship has sailed long ago. Well, we can believe he does miss moments of triumph in walking to the cage, but unfortunately, not enough to persuade himself to train, because it's hard to get up for a run when you sleep in silk pajamas. He has retired and returned countless times over the past 5 years. Fans who couldn't wait for his comeback performance lost every ounce of desire to see him compete. They are simply sick and tired of his empty promises and threats. But no one suffered because of his indecisiveness like Michael Chandler, who lost 2 years of his life waiting for him. He couldn't wait for his payday and the fight of his life, training like crazy while Conor was partying and making no effort to hide his alcohol addiction and cocaine issues. So Conor was at the NBA Finals in Miami on June 10th, and already on the 11th, the police received a report for another, you won't believe it, sexual assault. The unnamed woman claims that Conor invited her to the VIP bathroom, where he tried to abuse her, but as she says, she managed to resist and escape. However, no stable evidence was presented, and charges had to be dropped. Let's get something straight about these accusations. Conor may be an addict, an egomaniac, a person with anger issues, a bully, and more. Everybody knows how many innocent people have been put behind bars because of false allegations of sexual abuse. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. With that being said, Notorious is back in court again on November 5th, 2024, due to sexual indictments from December 2018 that we already mentioned. The alleged victim, Nikita Hand, is adamant about her lawsuits, and McGregor claims that their relationship was consensual and that everything told was a lie. However, today, this is a hot topic in all the news. The case is under investigation, and it is uncertain how things will unfold. Until that happens, we're just here to speculate and try to bring accurate information, because, unlike the alleged victims, we don't want to accuse innocent people, even if it's Conor McGregor. But the question still remains, how did we get from this?
I mean, if you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. You truly believe in it. If you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality. I knew he would overextend and I knew I'd catch him, so.
To this.
How do you think you would beat Ilia Abturo, Top Toro? I'd grab him by the scruff of the chest and slap that little nose off him, yeah? Little ding-dong of a thing he is, yeah? I'm fucking Spanish. I'm in Marbella, bro, yeah? I'm in Marbella at the bare knuckle stall and let's see what's what. We're bouncing the yoke, have a bare knuckle.
There was a time when everything that Conor promised would come true. There was a time when listening to his interviews was therapeutic. He was the epitome of the law of attraction and didn't always have to create chaos to draw attention to himself. Whatever he touched would turn to gold. From 2013 to 2017, there was none like this guy. He inspired so many and became the face of the fight game. Even though today he is his own worst enemy who doesn't really intend to come back, Conor's plan was never to stay in this game for long.
The fight game doesn't last long. Competitive fighting doesn't last long. Learning martial arts and training is for life, because that's medication to me. So I will do that forever. But as far as the fight game, I'm in it to get all the money, all the belts, and then I'm gone.